Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Mallory West, and we are implementing a new KNOE streaming show. So if you're here, welcome. We are very excited, and this is something that we're going to start doing every day at 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. So be on the lookout for that. But today is my first day doing this, so bear with me. We are still learning, but we have a lot of exciting content coming up. And starting off today, we are going into our top headline nationally, which is going to be the Venezuela situation with Donald Trump. And today, Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro appeared in court after his capture by U.S. forces. But after that surprise operation over the weekend, the future of his country and our involvement in Venezuela is up for debate. So we are going to go to Stephen Goen real quick, and he is going to tell us more about everything going on in Venezuela.
Overnight, the president reaffirming the U.S. is now in control of that South American country, though it's still not clear how that plays out or if U.S. troops will be on the ground.
Don't ask me who's in charge, because I'll give you an answer and it'll be very controversial.
What does that mean?
We're in charge.
While speaking to reporters on Air Force One, he said the U.S. will be working with those in Venezuela who were just sworn in. A reference to Maduro's second-in-command, Delcy Rodriguez, who's now the country's interim leader. Next, we know Congress is stepping in. The Senate expected to vote this week on a bipartisan war powers resolution. That bill would block the president from continuing military action in Venezuela without congressional approval. Finally, Trump signaling this may not be the end of U.S. intervention in other countries. Overnight, the president issued warnings to countries with close ties to Venezuela, like Cuba, and to other nations he accuses of drug trafficking, including Colombia and Mexico. He also repeated his assertion the U.S., quote, needs Greenland for national security, despite it being part of the Kingdom of Denmark. For now, Maduro and his wife remain in U.S. custody as the world watches and waits to see when the U.S. will officially move in to take over the world's largest oil reserves from Venezuela. In Washington, I'm Stephen Goen.
And there have been a lot of local lawmakers have reaction to everything going on in Venezuela, one of them being Speaker Mike Johnson. And he says, quote, Nicolas Maduro is responsible for the deaths of hundreds of thousands of Americans after years of trafficking illegal drugs and violent cartel members into our country. And he learned what accountability looks like. And he is not the only one to have comments on everything going on with Venezuela. Congresswoman Letlow also says whether it's street gangs or dictators, President Trump will not allow traffickers to flood American communities with deadly drugs without accountability. And she goes on with some more of that quote, and she says, the days of America looking the other way on narco-terrorism are over. I stand with our military and President Trump after a successful operation in Venezuela to protest American lives. We will have more in our show, but we are going to take a quick 2-minute break. Coming up, we will have some things coming up in our shows later today and some local events going on, so stick with us. Welcome back. Well, we are going to jump into our local headlines today. Now, if you were here for us in the morning show that we had at 5 a.m., 6 a.m., and 7 a.m. this morning, you might have heard us talk about a little something going on in Lincoln Parish. Now, the sheriff's office is wanting young people to know how to safely use firearms, and that's very important, especially in our area, where there are a lot of firearms and a lot of firearm owners, and keeping those safe from kids is always very, very important. And with many kids growing up hunting with their families, deputies say it is very, very important that they know the do's and don'ts. So Devontae Martin has that story and what the Lincoln Parish is doing to make sure kids know how to handle firearms safely.
It's a learning environment for the entire family, to where, like I said, we're teaching them safety, but also respect for the firearms, just to make sure that they are able to go out and enjoy that hunting or target practice, whatever they're doing, and enjoy it in a safe manner.
Parents do have to be in attendance. It starts with classroom education before going out in the field.
Opportunity for our deputies and our firearms instructors to spend time with these kids, and to just let them know that we're here to help them, and that law enforcement is somebody that's there in their time of need.
But this course is part of a bigger picture, one that includes classes each quarter for kids and adults. In Lincoln Parish, Devontae Martin, KNOE 8 News.
And we will have more on that in our 5 and 6 o'clock show coming up. And speaking of our 5 o'clock show, we have some headlines coming up. Our reporters right now are working very hard to get their stories put together. And one of those stories that we're going to be talking about today in that show is about the Crossett Police Department. And they have been awarded almost $300,000 to establish an overdose response team. And now this is very important in our area. I pulled a statistics from the CDC if we want to take a look. So as you can see, over 105,000 people die from drug overdoses every year. And if you can see teeny tiny down there is Louisiana, and we have 2,376 overdoses, about that many every year. So something like this, especially in our area, is very beneficial and very important. And if you want to hear more about this thing that the police department in Crossett is doing, we will have more info at 5 and the full story at 6 o'clock. And that is not our only headline for today. So our reporter Sophia Hosworth is working on a story about Louisiana State Representative Julie Emerson, because she is running against Senator Bill Cassidy this year. And she was in Monroe today to talk with the Ouachita Parish Women's Republican Club on her top priorities, which include focusing on tax reform, school choice, and maintaining Republican values. And you can hear more about everything that she is doing and planning today at 5 o'clock and again 6 o'clock. And we will be hearing from Senator Bill Cassidy possibly tomorrow, hopefully tomorrow, but we know senators can be very, very busy on what he believes when it comes to everything with Emerson. But we are going to go back into a quick break, and we will be right back with weather. Stick with us.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. It was a cool morning for us here across the Ark Limits as we started the day off with temperatures near average in the upper 30s to low 40s. Our normal average low temperature for this time of year should be 37 degrees. We started the day off at 35 in El Dorado, 41 in Tallulah, 43 for Natchez, and 38 degrees in Monroe. As we head throughout the rest of the day, we are expecting temperatures to fall into the upper 50s by 6 p.m. and those upper 50s will continue with us into the overnight hours as well as clouds continue to build in into the arc limits. We're expecting overnight low temperatures tonight to fall a little bit closer to the low 40s as we head into early tomorrow morning. This is our current weather setup showing that we have a ridge of high pressure building across our area. This ridge of high pressure will stay in place over the next couple of days, and that's going to provide us warm weather. Going into tomorrow, we're expecting high temperatures to be in the low to mid 70s. Those mid 70s will continue with us as we head into Wednesday and a Thursday of this week. High temperatures this week will be about 20 degrees above average for this time of year. Our normal average high temperature should be around 57 degrees for this time of year. Going into Friday, we start to see temperatures move back into the low 70s. Low 60s will be possible for Saturday as some cooler air moves in behind a front that pushes through late on Friday. Going into Sunday, we'll be even cooler in the mid to upper 50s to finish off the weekend. So as we time things out, going into tomorrow, we start the day off with temperatures in the low to mid 60s with clouds continuing to build in. We keep those clouds around throughout the day. Skies will be partly to mostly cloudy, and high temperatures will be in the low to mid 70s to finish off the day on Tuesday. As we wake up on Wednesday, we start the day off with a few high clouds and areas of mist. Temperatures will be in the mid to upper 40s. Going into Wednesday afternoon, we see high temperatures climb into the upper 60s and low 70s, if not mid 70s, with some clouds continuing. Skies on Wednesday afternoon will be mostly sunny to partly cloudy. Changes begin to arrive as we head into Thursday afternoon and evening, and they will likely continue with us into Friday morning. We have the risk for some stronger storms developing here across the arc limits. Right now, we have a slight level 2 out of 5 risk in place for the entire area for the threat of severe weather. As we time things out, going into Thursday, we start the day off with rain showers and thunderstorms just off towards our north and our west. Those will slowly move in by the afternoon and evening. Heading into Friday, that's when we could start to see some of those storms strong to severe, mainly by the morning, and this will likely continue into the afternoon before we start to see some clearing taking place going into Saturday. Rainfall totals right now aren't looking too impressive, right around 1/4 of an inch, if not a little bit more than 1/4 of an inch in some places of a total rainfall. This is going to be very beneficial for our ongoing drought conditions, considering that we are continuing to see drought here across the arc limits. We're seeing a lot of moderate levels of drought here across the region. As for tonight here in the arc limits, expect temperatures to fall into the low and mid 50s under a partly cloudy sky. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast showing that we'll be in the mid 70s to start off the week, and then rain showers move in by Thursday and Friday, upper 50s to low 60s for the weekend, and those upper 50s continue next work week.
Welcome back, everyone. Well, this is the last little segment of our streaming show, so I hope you've enjoyed. But we are going to be going over some of our top headlines that we mentioned today, starting off with Venezuela. Now, as we know, President Donald Trump did take the leader of Venezuela, Nicolas Maduro, overnight Saturday, and he was seen in court today on federal drug trafficking charges. And he actually, the latest update that we have on this is that Maduro pled not guilty to those drug trafficking charges. And in court, he said, quote, "I'm innocent. I am not guilty. I am a decent man, the president of my country." And we will keep you updated on everything going on with that situation with President Donald Trump and Venezuela online and in our newscasts at 5 and 6 o'clock. So be on the lookout for that. Now, we also went over some of our local news. We looked at Devontae Martin's story on gun safety, and it's important, and what the Lincoln Parish Sheriff's Office is doing to make sure our local kids know how and how not to handle firearms. Now, coming up at 5 o'clock in just about 45 minutes, we will see two very big stories in our area, starting off with the Crossett Police Department that has been awarded almost $300,000 for an overdose response team. So if you want to hear about that and more on the Crossett Police Department, tune in at 5 and 6 o'clock. And then our Sophia Hosworth will be talking about Louisiana State Representative Julie Emerson, and she is running against Senator Bill Cassidy this year. So that is also going to be a good story if you're looking to vote in that election and know more about Miss Julie Emerson. And we will also have some information, or we will be talking to Senator Cassidy tomorrow on Emerson and his upcoming running. So if you want, again, to see those stories and more, tune in at 5 and 6 o'clock today. And then we will also have this streaming show, hopefully every day at 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. So be on the lookout for me. I will be hosting it from here on out, and as far as I know. And then if you're watching me right now, that means you're on our website or our streaming app. So be sure to keep following along with all of our stories and checking in and checking for me and letting people know that I'm here. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you back here tomorrow.